Woo! Things are about to get a little bit spicy, baby. So we have a box office update regarding James Gunn's Superman. And I feel that DC Studios may be in for a rude awakening come July the 11th. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I mean by that. But before I do so, do you borrow three major favors? Please hit that subscribe button. Then after you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification bell because YouTube absolutely sucks at notifying subscribers that content creators has uploaded videos to their platform. Hitting that notification bell certainly helps. And don't forget to hit that like button to help me out with that algorithm, baby. Now let's get into today's news. This article is coming from comicbookmovie.com. If you're familiar with the 4KO, you would know that this is my preferred site to get my news from. So shout out to them for continuing to bring the noise. It is titled Rumor. Superman ticket pre-sales have slowed as a $100 million opening or less looks increasingly likely. Let me say that one more time, Dr. Umar style. A $100 million opening or less, keywords there, looks increasingly likely. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Let's get into this. Superman director James Gunn and his cast are currently touring the world to promote the first DC Studios movie, but will it pay off when the reboot opens in North America next weekend? There's a reason why they're out there campaigning their asses off. Tracking has been all over the place for this one, though the trades recently reported that a $125 million to $145 million opening weekend was looking likely, which was a dip from very early estimates of $185 million to $200 million. So it continues to fall. At the time, many of those outlets also suggested Superman could debut on the lower end with as little as $90 million. You guys remember that. I reported that to you all. And there had some people who was upset that I reported that news, but hey, I can't help it. I'm not going to lie to you and give you a fabricated story. And there's a reason why I felt comfortable giving you that story because I have been following boxofficetheory.com and they're saying the same thing as this headline. All right, let's go. With a rumored budget of $225 million, I don't believe it, not including marketing, that would be a disastrous start for the DCU. Talking on the Hot Mic podcast, Jeff Snyder revealed, quote, I'm hearing the Superman pre-sales are slowing down a bit. I have some sources saying that this is looking at a $100 million opening. If that. I have been bullish on this, saying this movie is going to do 160 to 175. I think what's becoming more realistic is $120 million to $140 million. Everybody tampering, right? Everybody is tampering. All right. First up, as I said, boxofficetheory.com is pretty much saying the same thing. At first, they were up there. They were saying, look, this looks like a $160 million opening weekend. However, in the last 2 weeks or so, they've kind of changed their tune a little bit on the farm and they're being a little bit more conservative. You know what I'm saying? And I believe they're doing that because they see that the tickets are not selling as many people out there are led to believe. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's because the film just isn't fitting the aesthetic of those out there who wants to watch a proper Superman movie. You get what I'm saying here? Now, let's talk about the hypothetical. If this thing opens to $100 million or less, that is embarrassing for DC Studios. Why? Let me lay it out. First up, you got the most views in Warner Brothers history regarding that of a trailer, right? You have been talking this thing up for the last 2 years or so. All of the actors has been coming out saying that Gunn has done a wonderful job, so on and so forth. People are saying that this is going to be the best superhero film of all time. If this thing opens to just $90 million, that is going to be quite embarrassing for that of James Gunn, DC Studios, and Warner Brothers. He's going to be crying like Lex Luthor on the screen right there. See, when you rebooted the DC universe, I didn't think that you rebooted it for a possible 90 to $100 million opening weekend. Yeah, we can all say that's much better than what they have been doing lately. But hey, hear me out. There's also The Flash. If you guys remember, The Flash was tracking at about 120 the week before release. And look, $57 million opening weekend. See, a lot of these fake DC fans, they're all talk online. They don't want to hear the real criticism of what DC is doing at this very moment. Not even James Gunn. Y'all heard about the news. James Gunn called out India. That's right. He said a guy in his mother's basement in India somewhere. Now, many people are calling him racist. Look, I'm not going to say that, but he is the first person in the history of media, rather that is comic books or anime or even Star Wars, to actually put a location on that, right? Nobody ever says some guy living in his mother's basement in Mississippi or Florida or Alabama or Texas or Louisiana or Arkansas. No one ever puts a location on it. The fact that this guy put a location on it, many people took it at face value and they ran with it. But hey, that is his fault. First up, you should not be worried about what some geek has to say about your project if you believe that they are truly in their mother's basement. See, this guy is soft. SOF capital T. Soft. That's right. His Superman is soft. His whole premise is soft. His personality is soft. He is too damn soft for this job. You're online, worried about what people have to say about this movie. Maybe that is why it's tracking at $100 million or less, because you talk too damn much. Shut up. Shut the hell up. You're the only director who tries to debunk every rumor out there, all because you're afraid of what? There's nothing to be afraid of. If you're confident in your film, you should not be worried about the critique of what people have about it. I'm confident in my videos. That's right. You see me making them. I'm going to continue to make them. Yeah, I point out people being toxic, but I only do that to help save those people, because that is not what you want to be perceived as. But back to this box office tracking. $90 million. And I know that they say that the budget is 225 million to 250. But hell no, we have that Ohio tax record. It is $350 million. $90 million will put DC Studios in a hole before it ever gets started. See, when I told you guys that this film looks unattractive, I ain't tell you one lie. When I told you that this film looks childish, I ain't tell you one lie. When I said visually uninspiring, I ain't tell you one lie. These projections should not be going down at this very moment. You are a week away from release. They should be rising. They should be going up. Same thing that happened for Deadpool and Wolverine. Hell, Avengers Endgame. Even Wonder Woman. Y'all remember Wonder Woman was tracking for $77 or $67 opening weekend. Bam, 108. You should be going up, not down. You started all the way up at $200 million, down to 140. Now, maybe 90. Whew. I am going to have a time with this one. If this movie flops, and I'm not saying that it is, on record, I have been saying that I believe that James Gunn's Superman will make a profit. But I have been wrong before. But I'm just saying, if it flops, you best believe I am going to rip this thing apart. The decision to reboot the DC universe for more flops? Ooh, I'm over here sharpening my blades, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. I'm rolling my blunts and I'm sharpening my blades because I cannot wait. And speaking of the box office tracking, people are saying that this thing is trailing behind the Flash in China regarding that of pre-sales. Next week cannot get here quick enough. I'm your boy O. Hopefully you have watched this video all the way to the end up your boy out with that algorithm. And if you're not subscribed, please be sure to do so. Trying to reach that big number of 100,000 subs. So I'll be highly appreciative if you will help me cross over that threshold by hitting that subscribe button. Then after you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification bell because YouTube absolutely sucks at notifying subscribers that content creators have uploaded videos to their platform. Hitting that notification bell certainly helps. And don't forget to hit that like button to help me out with that algorithm, baby. But in the comments below, let me know, what do you think of this news? Do you believe that Superman will open to $100 million or less? Or do you believe it will open to bigger numbers? And always remember, let the love on Tom Moulet. That means let the good times roll. But let me know in the comments below.